The Freedom class is one of two classes of littoral combat ship built for the United States Navy. The Freedom class was proposed by Lockheed Martin as a contender for a fleet of small, multi-purpose warships to operate in the littoral zone. Two ships were approved to compete with the Independence class design offered by General Dynamics and Austal for a construction contract of up to 55 vessels. Despite initial plans to only accept two of the Freedom and Independence variants, the Navy has since announced plans to order up to 10 additional ships of each class, for a total 12 ships per class. As of 2015, 3 ships are active and an additional 5 are under construction. Starting in 2019, ships of this class will be designated as fast frigates, which will include increased firepower and heavier armor. On the 1st of April 2016, the U.S. Navy awarded a contract to Lockheed Martin for LCS-25, the 13th of the Freedom class variants. As of April 2016, delivery of LCS-25 is expected in 2020. Planning and construction. Planning for a class of small, multi-purpose warships to operate in the littoral zone began in the early 2000s. The construction contract was awarded to Lockheed Martin's LCS team in May 2004 for 2 vessels. These would then be compared to 2 ships built by Austal USA to determine which design would be taken up by the Navy for a production run of up to 55 ships. On the 15th of April 2003, the Lockheed Martin LCS team unveiled the Seablade concept based on the hull form of the motor yacht Destriero. The keel of the lead ship Freedom was laid down in June 2005 by Marinette Marine in Marinette, Wisconsin. She was christened in September 2006, delivered to the Navy in September 2008, and commissioned that November. During INSURV trials, 2,600 discrepancies were discovered, including 21 considered high priority. Not all of these were rectified before the ship entered service, as moving the ship away from Milwaukee before the winter freeze was considered a high priority. Cost overruns during Freedom's construction, combined with projected future overruns, led the government to issue a stop work in January 2007 and ultimately led to the cancellation of construction of LCS-3 on the 13th of April 2007. This ship was later reordered. After much inconsistency on how testing and orders were to proceed, in November 2010, the Navy asked that Congress approve 10 of both the Freedom and Independence variants. Design. The ship is a semi-planing steel monohull with an aluminum superstructure. It is 377 feet in length, displaces 3,500 metric tons, and can go faster than 45 knots. The design incorporates a large reconfigurable C-frame to allow rapidly interchangeable mission modules, a flight deck with integrated helicopter launch, recovery and handling system, and the capability to launch and recover boats from both the stern and side. The flight deck is 1.5 times larger than that of a standard surface ship, and uses a trigon traversing system to move helicopters in and out of the hangar. The ship has 2 ways to launch and recover various mission packages: a stern ramp and a starboard side or near the waterline. The mission module bay has a 3-axis crane for positioning modules or cargo. Problems with the electrical systems are the most serious problems with the Freedom class. The foredeck has a modular weapons zone which can be used for a 57mm gun turret or missile launcher. A rolling airframe missile launcher is mounted above the hangar for short-range defense against aircraft and cruise missiles, and 50 caliber gun mounts are provided topside. The Fleet-class unmanned surface vessel is designed for operations from Freedom variant ships. The core crew will be 40 sailors, usually joined by a mission package crew and an aviation detachment for a total crew of about 75. Automation allows a reduced crew, which greatly reduces operating costs, but workload can still be growing. During testing of the class lead, 2 ships companies will rotate on 4-month assignments. 4 750 kW Fincantieri Isotofracini diesel generators provide 3 megawatts of electrical power to power the ship's systems. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that fuel will account for only 8% to 18% of the total life cycle costs for Freedom. Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama has called the report into question and has suggested that independence, built in his state, would be more fuel efficient and that less frequent refuelings would affect military operations beyond the cost of fuel. In 2012, a Navy cybersecurity team found major deficiencies in Lockheed's total ship computing environment, which controlled the entire ship in order to reduce crewing requirements. Survivability has been a criticism of both littoral combat ship classes, rated at Level 1 by the Navy, compared to Level 2 for the Oliver Hazard Perry class guided missile frigates they are designed to replace. Lockheed claims the Freedom class is actually more survivable than the FFGs because Navy requirements for various survivability levels have changed since the FFGs were assessed, and because the Freedom's hull is made of high-strength, low-weight steel that was not previously available. Milwaukee was the first Freedom-class LCS to be fitted with cavitation performance water jets. The jets create partial vacuums in liquid using an improved impeller blade design. Cavitation jets do not increase the ship's top speed, but deliver 10% greater fuel efficiency with less noise and vibration, reduced life cycle costs, improved maintainability, increased availability, and potentially improved efficiency at lower speeds. The Navy plans to add the new water jets to every Freedom variant that is produced, including LCS 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. The mixed-flow design was changed to an axial design to push water parallel to the shaft of the impeller. The first ships of both LCS classes were delivered before the designs were mature so that improvements could be built into future ships. Many improvements to the Freedom class came from the problems experienced by US Freedom on its first deployment, including power outages, corroded equipment, a faulty air compressor to prevent water being taken into the anchor windlass room, the anchor winch, hydraulic unit, and mooring capstan were replaced with a single electric chain winch on the main deck, and the existing towing chain was replaced with a lighter chain. Corrosion resistance was also improved by the impressed current cathodic protection system being modified by adding protections to the waterjet inlet tunnel. Starting with LCS-3, the stern transom was lengthened and buoyancy tanks were added to the stern to increase weight service and enhance stability. A significantly less complex gas turbine electric start system will be added on LCS-5 to reduce costs and lower ship weight. Starting with LCS-17, the Freedom-class ships will be equipped with the TRS-4D naval radar. The TRS-4D is an AESA radar built by Airbus Defence and Space that is similar to the one on German F-125 class frigates. The difference being the LCS will have a rotating version instead of a fixed panel. The first AESA rotating radar aboard a U.S. Navy ship. It is a three-dimensional, multifunction naval radar combining mechanical and electronic azimuth scanning that delivers increased sensitivity to detect smaller targets with greater accuracy and faster track generation. Ssc Variant. Lockheed submitted a variety of upgrade options for Freedom-class ships to the Small Surface Combatant Task Force, aimed at transforming the littoral combat ship from niche platforms into ships with more protection and firepower beyond Flight 0 to survive against more advanced military adversaries. With 180 metric tons of space available for mission packages, there is room for added capabilities. Anti-aircraft warfare was suggested with the installation of ASPY-1F air defense radar and permanently installed vertical launch systems. Current 118-meter length versions could house 4 to 32 VLS cells, each holding 4 RIM-162D evolved Sea Sparrow missiles or one EDM-2 missile. For surface warfare, the Mk110 cannon could be replaced with a larger gun up to the Mk45 5-inch cannon. Integration of the AGM-114L Hellfire missile for defense against fast attack craft was also factored in. Lockheed's approach was to integrate mission systems into the hull so that the ships could perform anti-submarine, anti-surface, and anti-aircraft duties without needing to swap out mission packages. Weight would be increased from 3,400 tons to 3,600 tons, and the hull could be stretched an additional 7 to 10 meters. In addition to adding vertical launch tubes and a sonar, the main gun would be integrated with the stronger and more sophisticated radar. The Navy's recommendation to base the Small Surface Combatant on upgraded versions of both Freedom and Independence LCSs was accepted in December 2014. Although Lockheed submitted improvements including vertical launch systems, 76mm guns, and advanced combat systems and sensors, the Navy opted to keep the 57mm gun, not add a vertical launch system, and chose to add an upgraded 3D radar. Other changes included installation of an unspecified over-the-horizon missile, Mark Chapter 38 25mm guns, a torpedo countermeasures system, a multifunction towed array system, installation of the Serum launcher, an upgraded countermeasures decoy system, an upgraded electronic warfare system, armor added to vital spaces, and improved signature management. The Ssc will focus in SUW and ASW with these additions, as well as retaining all other features of the mission packages. The Ssc is not required to perform MCM, which will continue to be handled by the LCS. The vessels will retain a degree of modularity to concentrate on one mission set and will still have missioned bays, although they may be reduced. Ssc vessels are planned to begin procurement by 2019, and it is being investigated if the enhancements can be added to existing LCS hulls. Ships. 3 Freedom-class LCS ships have been commissioned. 7 more are under construction by Lockheed Martin, and 3 more are on order. Ship orders and naming history. The Navy originally ordered 2 Freedom-class littoral combat ships, the lead ship LCS-1 Freedom and LCS-3. In March 2009, then-current Secretary of the Navy Donald C. Winter announced that LCS-3 would be named Fort Worth. On the 29th of December 2010, the Navy announced that it would be placing a block by order of up to 10 additional Freedom-class ships, for a total of 12 ships in the class. On the 31st of March 2016, the Navy exercised an option under the block buy contract for 1 additional Freedom-class vessel. LCS-25 would be the 11th vessel built under the block buy contract and the 13th overall. On the 10th of March 2014, the Navy awarded contract options to fund construction of LCS-17 and LCS-19, the 7th and 8th ships in a 10-ship contract. On 1 April 2015, the Navy awarded LCS-21 to Lockheed Martin. As of April 2016, the latest order for Freedom-class LCS ships was LCS-25, which has not yet been named. Engine maintenance incidents. As of August 2016, all 3 active Freedom-class littoral combat ships have suffered engine maintenance incidents. Ssc Milwaukee broke down in the Atlantic Ocean in December 2015 and had to be towed back to port. Metallic debris was found in the filter system. The cause was traced to a clutch between the gas turbine and diesel engine systems, which failed to disengage as designed while switching from one propulsion system to the other. Ssc Fort Worth suffered a similar breakdown in the Pacific Ocean in January 2016. Improper procedures used aboard ship caused a set of combining gears hardware used to transfer power to the ship's water propulsion system to be operated with insufficient oil, and in July 2016, Ssc Freedom suffered a seawater leak into one of its 2 main diesel propulsion systems and had to return to San Diego for seawater decontamination. Ships in Class Surface Combat Ship. In 2012, Lockheed renamed the SCS-GD's multi-mission combatant term and revealed that the full capabilities, such as Aegis, would only be available on a stretched 3,500-ton hull. Lockheed has also been working on a trimmed-down version of the Freedom combat system to offer on the international market for smaller patrol vessels. This multi-mission combat ship adds in phased array radar and a vertical launch system on a smaller hull with a smaller crew size, at the cost of removing the high-speed gas turbines and 1/3 of the mission module area. Saudi Arabia. Lockheed Martin has offered an Aegis combat system-equipped variant for national missile defense radar picket used to a number of Persian Gulf states. The surface combat ship was offered to Saudi Arabia as part of a 2011 arms deal. The total cost for the 8 ships was reported to be as much as $5 billion. The Saudi Naval Expansion Program 2 calls for some $20 billion for new warships, which can include up to 12 Freedom-class ships. The Saudis have not looked to purchase Austal's Independence-class ship. The Saudis, as well as other potential foreign buyers, want permanent weapons capabilities built into the ship rather than interchangeable mission packages. Another potential ship under evaluation was the Ali Burr-class destroyer. The Freedom class would be outfitted with vertical missile launch, and the SPY-1F radar, a smaller and lighter but shorter-range version of Ali Burke's SPY-1D. A decision between the ships would be based on the desire for a large-hulled ship with a large missile defense system or a larger number of small-hulled multi-mission ships. In October 2015, Saudi Arabia requested the sale of 4 Freedom-class ships to update its Eastern Fleet in a potential $11.25 billion deal. The multi-mission surface combatant variant does away with the LCS modular mission package ability and the forward 2 missioned bays, but keeps the aft mission bay with a stern ram. The requirement for an Aegis combat system was dropped for cost reasons, and the ships will instead feature the TRS-4D SAS search radar. Unlike the Flight Zero Freedom, the MMSC features 2 8-cell Mk-41 VLS that can carry 16 ADM to a 64 ESSMs in total, as well as an OTO Melara 76mm main gun, Harpoon Block 2 anti-ship missiles, torpedoes, and the Serum. It will also have an MH-60R helicopter, ASW sonar suites, and the Link 16 data link for interoperability with regional U.S. forces.